Hi everyone, welcome to Draw with Jan channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint a scenic beach using oil colors. I have posted the details of materials used in the description of this video. Let's get started. I'm first going to apply the base colors for the sky on the canvas. This is a sunset at the beach, so I'm going to be using multiple colors for the sky. I'm mainly using blue, white, yellow, red and brown. And I'm going to be mixing yellow and red to get shades of orange and red and white to get shades of pink for the sky. This is just the first layer of coloring, but I'm trying to blend it in as much as possible. I've explained the blending techniques for oil painting in one of my previous videos. In this case, I'm just applying very little pressure where the two colors merge to blend them in. For this shade of blue, I've just mixed a little bit of brown to get the desired shade. The sky is usually beautiful during sunset, so please feel free to experiment with different colors by mixing different shades and getting the desired look that you want. Don't worry about making mistakes because it is quite easy to correct them in oil painting. If you've shaded something too dark or used a wrong color by mistake, you can just go over it with a layer of white and easily correct it. For the sea, I'm mainly using blue. And I'm also going to be using black and white to bring out the waves. There's also going to be a little bit of yellow to bring out the reflection of the sky in the sea. First, I'm just marking a very rough sketch of the waves. The reference picture on the top right is a photo of my final drawing. You can use that to follow the direction of the waves in the picture. For the sand, I'm using light brown. If you do not have light brown, just take dark brown and mix it with white. I'm also using green for some parts of the sea. The waves are usually seen near the shore, so this part of the sea is calm and the shading here is quite simple. Showing the reflection can be slightly tricky. You can just leave some of those spaces white, and instead of shading the entire part around it yellow, I'm just popping in some yellow here and there. Finally, I'm also going to blend it in with the blue. Now moving on to defining more details for the waves. So what I'm doing here is just drawing small thin lines to produce the wave effect. The shading is a lot more detailed when it comes closer to the shore. This doesn't have to be in any specific pattern, but you just need to get a hang of how to produce the wave effect using your shading technique. Take your time to define the details and get the nuances right. The video is recorded at twice the pace, so I'm actually shading much slower than this. If you pay close attention, the shading is quite simple. There are some areas where I'm drawing dots, some areas where I'm drawing lines, and some areas where I'm just shading in patches. It is just your attention to detail and patience that matters. If you feel the paint is too dry, you can add more oil to your paint. But always remember the fat over lean principle. Fat means more oil and lean means lesser oil. And more oil means more drying time. If the upper layer dries before the layer below it, the paint cracks as it dries. So the under layers should always be leaner than the upper layers and dry first. Now moving on to defining the details for the waves near the shore. This is the hardest part of the painting and it's going to be the most time consuming. I'm going to be using different shades of black, brown, blue and green here. You would notice that there are shades of grey for which I've mixed white with black, and there are shades of light brown for which I've mixed white with dark brown. And I'm following the same technique of drawing lines and dots and also some blocks of shading. And while I'm doing this, I'm also trying to blend it in with a shade of white or a lighter shade so that the lines are not too harsh. Now adding a bit of brown here, which could look weird initially, but then once you blend in the colors, it is going to help you produce a realistic output. Usually near the shore, you see a mix of sand and water, and that's what we are trying to create here. For the waves, I'm going in with a bold shade of black and also near the shore to produce the shadow effect, I'm using black. Also using dark grey underneath the black. I'm trying to produce grainy effect here for the sand by creating black dots. Now defining the highlights for the waves using white. Now the top left part of this wave is complete, and I'm going to repeat the same technique for completing the rest of the waves. The details in the waves are now complete, and I'm moving on to defining the details in the sky. I'm mostly using black to draw the lines, and I'm also using black and darker shades near the horizon. And as I'm shading, I'm trying to blend it in to make sure the lines are not harsh. Finally, I'm using white to blend in the waves for a much smoother effect. You can even use a lighter shade of blue or just a plain brush for blending. Do not apply too much pressure, just gentle strokes will help you blend in the colors. Also, spend the last few minutes for the finishing touches in your painting, which can make it truly stand out. Just redefining those shadows and highlights, paying attention to the fine details and trying to capture as much details as you can help you produce a realistic output. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more drawing videos. Thank you and see you again soon.